Your Excellency, permission to adopt the protocol. But I must say that Sir Kennedy was my personal physician. I did not follow him into high sporting excellence. However, in 1981, when interviewing for Howard University Medical School in Washington, D.C., the two interviewers spent 95% of the time talking about my involvement in marbles, cricket, and track, and 1% of the time talking about physics, chemistry, and biology. Ladies and gentlemen, I must snitch. His Excellency has started a swimming program, which means that swimming is about to take off here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I have a confession. The reference to John Carlos and Tommy Smith made by P.S. Knight shook me, because having studied in the United States, you understood why they did what they did. And you also felt the pain they experienced by being ostracized by their own people. Today we gather in this historic and delightful setting to acknowledge and celebrate excellence in sports. His Excellency, the Governor General, continues to back this event with the full weight and prestige of his office. I believe the signal being sent from the head of state is that sports has a powerful, positive impact on society, particularly society's youngest. Thank you, sir. While waiting my turn at the podium, I was struck by a contrast. Mr. Knight referred to it already. Here in this place, ladies and gentlemen, are young people being awarded for excellence. Next door is another place where on too many occasions since 2001, burial rites have been chanted for young people. Where would you rather be? Over there or over here? It is a singular honor to be invited to speak over here. I wish to commend the Sports Department for mobilizing the resources to sustain this event. Being recognized is a basic human need. It boosts self-confidence, self-esteem, and optimism in the future. A young person with such attributes is not likely to be attracted to the thug life. Knowing that to be true, special appreciation is due to all of the good corporate citizens who sponsor sports. Theirs is a contribution towards securing our nation's present and future. I say now what is usually said at the Kim Collins Stadium by Mr. Wiltshire. Ladies and gentlemen, you are invited to spend your hard-earned dollars only with those businesses that support sports. The proceeding was an unpaid political announcement. Congratulations to the awardees for making the Sports Excellence Honor Roll. To my mind, the Sports Honor Roll is equivalent in value to this society, equivalent to the honor rolls already established for excellence in academics, technical, and vocational pursuits. Prediction. Soon, as Maurice Knight demonstrated, we will have an honor roll for performing arts. And very soon, as the prom outfits demonstrate, we will have an honor roll for the creative arts. I extend heartfelt compliments to all parents and guardians. Give yourself a round of applause. You have nurtured your student-athlete children with authoritative love. Authoritative as in your being consistently fair and firm, as opposed to being ruthless, lackadaisical, or absent from their lives. Honor roll parents like you are there for your children, alert to their God-given talents, and you push them along straight and narrow paths. Sometimes you have to apply tough love, such as pulling them out of bed at 4:59 a.m. to get some studying done and to get some training in. So be it. Parenting is not for cowards. The director of sports said I could speak for 1 hour. I will speak for 10 more minutes on the theme, making a difference through sports. If we were debating in the House of Assembly, the speaker would say, the question is, can sports make a difference? I am positive that the honorable ministers would be the first to jump on, the honorable minister of sports would be first on his feet telling his colleagues that a 72 million 6-point national security plan will not make a difference in this country unless well-resourced plans to gainfully employ and occupy young people are simultaneously implemented. To make a real difference, thank you. To make a real difference in the direction of our country, sports must be on the front burner of public policy, alongside optimal support for the arts, culture, and youth groups. The point about sports is endorsed by the United Nations. In 2001, the UN inaugurated the Office on Sports for Development and Peace. Why was that done? I quote from the relevant website. Sports has a unique power to attract, mobilize, and inspire. By its very nature, sport is about participation. It is about inclusion and citizenship. It stands for human values such as respect for the opponent, acceptance of binding rules, teamwork, and fairness. Ban Ki-moon, the immediate past UN Secretary General, said, sport is a worldwide industry whose practices can have widespread impact. Most of all, it is a powerful tool for progress and for development. The philosophy may be summed up in this statement. Sport can no longer be considered a luxury within any society, but is rather an important investment in the present and future, particularly in developing countries. The UN system defines sport for the purposes of development as all forms of physical activity that contribute to physical fitness, mental well-being, and social interaction, such as play, recreation, organized and competitive sport, and indigenous sports and games. Note the terms industry, investment, physical fitness, mental well-being, social interaction, development, and peace, all connected to or are outcomes of sports. Therefore, since 2001, the formal advice to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis and all other governments was this: invest in building a sports industry inclusive of all forms of physical activity, such as swimming. Because physical activity is a building block of good physical, mental, and social health. Because a sports industry is a feasible engine of economic progress. And because sports advance societal peace. Now, ours is a small and open nation, the smallest in the Western Hemisphere, the 7th smallest in the world. We are extremely vulnerable to external conditions and influences. Our sustained development is under threat from climate change, global economic ups and downs, discriminatory trade and immigration practices. But it can be argued successfully that the biggest threats to our health and development are the high levels of obesity-related non-communicable diseases and violent crime. Can sports make a difference? Today, 50% of children and teenagers in the Federation have excess weight. 1 in 2. Imagine the savings 3 to 5 years from now from a reduction in overweight and obesity through robust promotion and organization of physical activity. Recall Proverbs. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. The Turks have a different version. The Turks say, the devil tempts all other men, but that idle men tempt the devil. Instead of men, substitute boys and girls. Imagine the impact organized sports can have in properly channeling the energies of seemingly hyperactive children towards good temptations. The Federation needs another 6-point plan. This time, one captioned, "Making a Difference Through Sports." If the planning starts tomorrow, by the next budget session in December, there can be a vigorous government and civil society partnership to rapidly roll out the national sports policy and its implementing agency, the National Sports Authority, or whatever name you may want to use. The big boys in the world already use the formula: policy and authority. They use that formula to guide their investment of 1% of GDP in their sports industries. In the United States, it's 3% of GDP. The United States is investing 3 times more than anybody else in sports. You ever wonder why they win most medals at the Olympics and World Championships? So why do the big boys commit such amounts to sports? Answer: obvious. A well-run sports industry boosts tourism, foreign direct investment, and national pride. When national pride is high, people are more productive, hence the linkages forwards and backwards from sports. Jamaica is already cashing in. Usain Bolt is a global brand. Make no mistake about it. The Bahamas is not far behind Jamaica. They hosted the first 2 IAAF relays and successfully bid for the next 2. Seems like they want to be the permanent host for the relays. Why? Theirs is a tourism-dependent economy. Global television coverage is priceless. St. Kitts and Nevis must get firmly into the mix. We have a track record of improving on what others started. Look at the CBI, for example. Let us, at a minimum, seek to brand St. Kitts and Nevis as first in class in franchise hosting, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. Event hosting, CPL, and as a winter training base. We already started with the Canadians. Why not the Russians? Or the Syrians? Or the Iraqis? The contribution to GDP sounds like this: gate receipts, venue and corporate box rentals, food and beverage concessionaires, advertising boards, media rights and sponsorship, merchandising. K-On 4G Rockets won the championship 4 weeks ago, and people are still flying their flag. Pride. Huh? Flo should pay K-On to do that. Merchandising, travel taxes. How about busy taxi and tour operators and restaurants? Souvenirs like Bobo Cane. Such economic activity and buzz is already generated by sports days. Have you noticed the commerce that goes on inside and outside the sports days? We should ban commerce outside sports days. Primary school and high school championships, commerce. Football Christmas Cup, football Easter Cup, football Final Four, football Final Two, golf tournaments, the St. Kitts to Nevis Cross Channel Swim, OECS-related championships in netball, football, golf, taekwondo, Carifta Games, CPL, and the PCL. Who? PCL? The Professional Cricket League. 5 or 6 nationals have landed contracts. I'm advised that an A-rated player in the PCL can earn $4,000 US per month just by having a contract, plus 3,500 EC match fees. That's more than a CMO makes. So I ask you, what's in your wallet? It brings me to the issue of resources. And to reiterate, the assertion is that making a difference through sports means establishing a well-resourced, well-organized, professionally run corporate body called a National Sports Authority. Speaking of money, subject to correction, my calculation suggests that current total government and non-government spending on sports is around $5-6 million EC dollars per year. That's 0.2% of GDP. Of that amount, I'm advised that the sports department's budget is about $3 million, an insufficient amount to make the desired difference. Mr. Knight told you the count. 30 playing fields and courts and other facilities, including a cricket stadium, a football stadium, a netball stadium, and a track and field stadium to upkeep. Then there are the costs of running the offices, plus the costs of replacing government property that people borrow without permission. What if each stadium is leased to the respective association? That should relieve the central government of a financial burden. Is that making a difference or not? I will see you at the cocktails. Einstein famously said, insanity is doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. To my hopefully not so insane mind, this award ceremony is part and parcel of doing things differently and at the higher level. It is an annual reminder for us to get more serious and strategic about cultivating the talent, the obvious talent that this small country has in the youth and junior ranks. His Excellency, you rattled off the names of some of the persons who made it to the big leagues. But there's obvious talent in these fair islands. We must get busy with our national sports policy and sports authority. I'm winding down. Going forward, I propose 6 action lines as possible terms of engagement for the National Sports Authority. I am not campaigning for a job, but if I get one, I'll take it. 1, promotion of physical activity across all age groups. All, including senior citizens, an age group that I recently joined. 2, the upkeep of sports and recreational facilities such as stadia, parks, playing fields, beaches, and trails for walking, jogging, and cycling. There's too much walking, jogging, and cycling on the highways. It's a hazard to your health. In conjunction with the sports department and sports associations, 3, talent identification and nurturing using scientific and technical best practices. If you don't have a certificate, you need not apply for the coaching position. 4, defining 1 to 3 year schedules of must-host and must-go-to events. There are events we must host and events that we must go to. 6, provisioning of representative teams with national uniform. 1 national uniform. Thank you. And 6, fundraising. So that's my 6-point plan. Tourism is fickle. Citizenship by investment is fragile. We constantly have to find new and innovative ways to keep the economy afloat. A sports industry is a viable option. High population levels of physical activity. That's what we're talking about, making a difference. Community and team spiritedness. K-On 4G rockets. Plus excellence in franchise and event hosting and management. All of these bode well for a fit, healthy, competitive, resilient, and productive small island nation. The Federation should aim to increase its sports market from 0.2% GDP to 0.5%, or $12.5 million by 2019. I hate taxes, but I'm willing to pay an extra tax to get there. But there are other funding streams: corporate sponsorship tied to tax relief, government subventions, earmarks from taxes on fast food, sugar-sweetened beverages, alcohol, tobacco, and gambling, plus the contributions from international sport governing bodies and the revenues from advertising, merchandising, facility use, gate receipts, and media rights. As a field of human endeavor, sports is a social good in that, just like clean air and universal access to potable water, decent housing, education up to the tertiary level, healthcare, sports is a social good because the benefits accrue not to an elite few with connections or good looks, but to the entire society. My 10 minutes are up. Thank you for your attention. Best wishes to you all, and congratulations to all of the awardees and their parents.